Hey everybody, and welcome back to my pregnancy vlogs. It won't make a difference when you guys see this, but for me, it's been quite a while since I have filmed anything. The last time I filmed a pregnancy vlog was when I was 6 weeks pregnant. I am now 19 weeks pregnant, so it's been a little bit. I figured what I would do is I have some notes. I would do like what happened during the first trimester, and then we can talk about what happened then I'll do a separate video for the second trimester, the weeks that I'm currently up to, and we'll go from there. And honestly, part of the reason I'm finding it so hard to film is I don't get a lot of alone time. I've mentioned this several times before. My husband now works at home, which means that my office downstairs is no longer my office. So when I usually get free time, which is during nap time, he's working. So I don't really have the quiet space to sit and talk to you guys, which means I'm probably gonna stop filming down there for a while. It's just not, it ends up being an excuse of why I'm not filming, and I would rather just film and talk about what's going on. So that's one reason that I paused doing my pregnancy vlogs. The other reason is my first trimester symptoms. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so it actually got pretty bad. I had really bad nausea, to the point where I was nauseous basically all day. It really wasn't just morning sickness or evening sickness. I was vomiting at least once, if not twice a day. And it was really not good. The fatigue was really bad. Honestly, up until recently, I've been napping on the couch when Graham goes down. So it's been really bad. And then especially at night, and like kind of my indicator of how well I've been doing is how clean the house is. And there were so many times I would get to the end of the night and I couldn't physically be in the kitchen because I would feel like throwing up. The toys would all still be out because I just couldn't get myself to get up and do things. Apologies for my dog. As usual, he would like to be in the video as well. It was really rough. And doing all of that on top of having a toddler. So I would say that one of the biggest differences between when I worked at the daycare versus being at home is when I was at the daycare, I was able to say, hey, second trimester, I am done changing diapers. I am done, like I can't physically pick up 10, 30-pound 2-year-olds 3 times a day. So they ended up moving me around and I was not doing near as much physical labor as I was. With your own toddler, kind of can't do that. So it's a lot of up and down, a lot of chasing him around because he is a very active little boy. So that's what's going on. I'm pretty sure that has contributed to me feeling sick. Other than that, like complete loss of appetite. There are very rarely times that I actually want to eat anything, or I wanted to eat anything. And really, I just relied very heavily on like, I think I mentioned this in another video. I had cheese sticks, I had Ritz crackers, I have ginger ale, and I also had Gatorade upstairs for me, so that when I would feel sick at night, I could have something. And like it was to the point where I wasn't even keeping down my pills, and I had to actually message my doctor and be like, hey, I've got a problem. But those were kind of my biggest symptoms. I'm double checking, I track stuff. I use the app Premom. I find that one was really good when I was tracking ovulation. It's really nice for pregnancy symptoms as well. I'm a big fan. And like I'm looking back, and it honestly got to a point where I was not writing down my symptoms anymore because it was just the same thing. It was vomiting, it was fatigue, it was appetite decrease. Those are the biggest ones that I had. So other than symptoms, I've had 2 doctor's appointments since my last video. Well, actually I've had 3. Oh my gosh, I've had 3 appointments. Whew. Okay, so I've had 3 appointments since my last video. My first appointment was the intake appointment. That was the one I did over the phone. It was really simple. I talked to them very briefly, and yeah, it was just setting me up to do, I went in and did a blood test. I did, we talked about, the stuff I talked about before, here's the medication you can have when you're pregnant. Here's the food you shouldn't touch, that kind of stuff. Kind of talked very briefly about my previous pregnancy and, had a rough idea. I knew when my last period was, so I was able to give them, my information so they could give me a rough due date. And that's all that intake one was. It was very easy. So then my first appointment was on Wednesday, January 6th. Got an ultrasound. So here's ultrasound picture number 1, 9.5, 10 weeks. And almost honestly kind of the same thing as the intake appointment. It was just going over everything. I talked with the nurse practitioner. It was just pretty calm, honestly. Baby looked great. The thing I was sad about is it was pretty early in January. And unfortunately, my husband could not come to the ultrasound appointment. There were just too many cases, and they were minimizing the amount of people in the office. So he was not able to come to the first ultrasound. He was last time, so that was pretty sad. And then after that, actually, now that I'm looking at it, I've actually had 4 appointments since the last time I said anything. Ugh. Okay, so then my second appointment, I had one on February 3rd, another Wednesday, and February 3rd was 13.5 weeks. And so 13.5 weeks, I did another ultrasound. I had a small bleed in my 9.5 week ultrasound. And so wanted to double check that. It was also early enough in my pregnancy that they figured it would be too difficult to find the baby with the Doppler. So they were just like, we'll just check the heartbeat via ultrasound. That worked great. And same thing, another ultrasound picture. Everything looked good. This time I actually got to talk with my OB. He was great. We're on the same page with everything. Probably almost definitely gonna have a repeat C-section. I say like 99% because you never know. Like I could go into labor early. I don't think that's gonna happen though. Right now we're gonna schedule my C-section for 39 weeks. My guess is I'm probably gonna go earlier based off of my previous pregnancy and how my blood pressure changed. But obviously can't make that, can't say anything about that yet. And then the other thing we talked about was like the COVID vaccine. Based on what other people have gotten, I am pretty sure I'm going to take it. When I say other people, there are a lot of other pregnant women who have decided to get it, a lot of pregnant women on the front lines, despite there not being a lot of test cases for pregnant women because they don't test pregnant women initially. Usually those statistics come from women who find out they're pregnant after they get the vaccine, or they didn't know they were pregnant when they get it. I feel really confident with all of my other health issues like my high blood pressure and being obese. Those are just enough that I would feel actually way more comfortable taking the vaccine versus not. And I'm sure no one is gonna watch this video other than people who know me. Yeah, if you have differing opinions than that, I'm sorry. I Can't help you. This is what I have chosen to do. This is my decision for me and my family. And I feel very confident in it. So that's all I have to say about that. As for the other appointment, that is actually in my second trimester. So we will touch base on that next video. Let's see. The big changes this pregnancy. Obviously I'm not going to work. We have mostly been staying home. I was very lucky though for a good period of time between my first and second trimester. My parents were able to become a part of our pod again, which meant that, you know, they had been home for at least 2 weeks and we felt comfortable seeing them again. They weren't, you know, going out or anything. They were staying isolated as well. So for a couple of glorious weeks, I got to go and take Graham over to their house, which was honestly so wonderful because it was right at like the time where winter was just feeling like it was going on too long. You know, it's so cold outside, you can't go outside, and even when you do, you can't be out for very long. So I was just running out of ways to keep Graham active. So being able to take him to my parents' house really made a huge difference. You know, it also is gonna help for him to see anybody, and it worked out great. We did have to stop that, but that'll be something I can talk about in the next video because that has to do with second trimester stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else from the first trimester I need to bring up. So I actually think I've hit all of like the big points. And if I forget something, I will find a way to talk about it in another video. But yeah, there wasn't actually a whole lot to talk about with the first trimester other than I just had really, really bad symptoms. And that was the worst, especially when you have a toddler who, you know, likes to mimic you. So when you're in the bathroom vomiting and you can hear him copying you, doesn't make anything better. But you know, we worked through it. So that is gonna do it for my first trimester video. I will talk to you guys next week with the second trimester, up until where I am currently. So until next time, bye.